안녕하세요. 해연유학 김상일 부원장입니다. 자, 오늘은 제가 캐나다 토론토 인근에 있는 워털루에 위치한 윌프리드 로리어 대학교 담당자와 인터뷰를 하려고 하는데요. 네, 먼저 본인 소개 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Hello everyone, my name is Michelle. I'm the marketing manager from Wilfrid Laurier International College. I'm also working in the education industry for almost 10 years.
네, 반갑습니다. 윌프리드 로리어 대학교에 대해서 소개 좀 부탁드릴게요.
Sure. So, Wilfrid Laurier University itself has more than 100 years of history. So, many will ask, who is Wilfrid Laurier? So, let me show you a little bit here. Hopefully that can show.
Oh.
So, Wilfrid Laurier is actually our Canada's 7th Prime Minister. His face is actually printed on Canada's $5 bill. We have two locations. We have one is in the main campus, that's Waterloo, as mentioned. We also have another campus that's in Brantford, a smaller city. So we have two campuses here.
예, 윌프리드 로리에는 네, 워털루 지역인데 여기는 아마 토론토에서 1시간 정도 거리에 위치하고 있다고 합니다. 윌프리드 로리어 대학교의 장점을 세 가지를 꼽자면 어떤 게 있는지 한번 말씀 좀 해주시겠어요? 네.
Yep. So if I were to talk about three advantages about Wilfrid Laurier University, the first one for sure is our employment rate. For international students, we have about 95% employment rate. The reason being is because of we have a very good job fair, which I'll be talking a bit more later. The second advantage I would say is about on our student satisfaction on how much extracurriculars that we have. So we have focusing on not just studying, but more comprehensive development. On average, Laurier students will usually be studying full-time, plus they would join on average about 3 student clubs.
Oh.
That's on average. And the last one, of course, is the location. As mentioned before, we're only an hour away from Toronto. But living cost-wise, we are at least like 30 to 40% cheaper compared to downtown Toronto.
예. 유학생들의 취업 또는 진학률이 굉장히 높다고 하는데 그 이유가 좀 있을까요?
So as I mentioned before about the employment rate, we have 95% employment rate. The main reason is because we do have a really big job fair for our students. So how big it is? Normally, a university in Canada, on average, can be 30 to 60 companies to join their career or job fair. But for Laurier, each year they will be partnering with 2 more universities in Ontario. What they're gonna do is have the biggest of its kind in Canada on job fair. There will be about 200 companies in there. So they will host once per year around February or March. So at that time, you may want to bring your resume as well because some of the job will be doing interview on the spot.
윌프리드 로리어가 위치한 지역이 토론토 인근의 이제 워털루 브랜드포드라는 곳인데 이곳이 어떤 곳인지 좀 상세하게 소개 좀 부탁드릴게요.
Yep. So for Waterloo, this kind of location, many students will be hearing a little bit about more, but mostly you'll hear more about Vancouver, Toronto. Those are, we call it business hub in Canada. But in terms of technology hub, actually Waterloo is a technology hub in Canada. Many of you might have heard about USA, the Silicon Valley. In the past, a lot of students want to do IT or startup in San Francisco. But in fact, the entire world, the second largest technology hub for the most technology job or startup is actually in Waterloo, Canada. So you can see it as a Canadian version of Silicon Valley.
그럼 유학생들이 이 윌프리드 로리어에 입학하는 방법은 어떻게 되는지 좀 상세하게 좀 소개 좀 부탁드릴게요.
So coming to Wilfrid Laurier University, there's 2 paths. The traditional path everyone knows, going into directly to the university and finish your 4 years, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you can complete your bachelor degree. On the other hand, for international students, it's very common for them to choose a pathway. So pathway has many benefits. We have more flexible on admission requirements. Not only that, we also have a better support for international students. On average, coming to Canada, study in university, your first year, it can range about 100 students to like 400 students, depending on your faculty or your program. Coming to pathway on average will be similar to your high school. Usually will be around 30 to 40 student maximum. So definitely have more advantage for you to build a better foundation. And once you transfer to second year, you're competitive. You can compete with local students and get good grades as well.
자, 그러면 구체적으로 윌프리드 로리어 대학교의 학비, 그 다음에 기숙사, 그리고 또 장학 혜택이 있는지 이것도 소개 좀 부탁드릴게요.
So in terms of tuition fee, coming to Wilfrid Laurier, we are about 32,000 Canadian dollars. In Waterloo, actually, we do have another university, University of Waterloo as well. They're a little bit more pricey. We're about half the price. So computing science, studying in Waterloo is about 66,000 Canadian dollars, and for us, about 32,000 Canadian dollars. You definitely still have a lot of advantage taking, being able to pay a little bit less on tuition fee. For residents, so we do have very friendly on residents, usually because we are not in the big city as busy as Toronto or Vancouver. So it's much easier for international students to find accommodation here. The living cost wise, as mentioned, is very much lower than Toronto. We can expect around $1,000 per month living in a dorm for single room.
Wow.
That's including heat, Wi-Fi, everything is included. At the end, so for scholarship, many students are very interested about scholarship. For scholarship, currently in 2023, we do have a scholarship for $4,000. If students do want to try out our being an ambassador for us, they can try our $5,000 ambassador scholarship as well.
마지막으로 한국 학생들한테 하시고 싶은 말 있으면 여기 좀 말씀해 주십시오.
So I understand that many students do want to go to usually going for the big city like Vancouver, Toronto, but I encourage you to really explore other city that is also very beneficial for your future. For example, in Waterloo, definitely good locations for you to not only saving money but also able to find a very nice job because depending on what your future gonna go, you should choose a city that has the most opportunities. So as I mentioned, actually Waterloo has the most tech job in overall Canada. Then they also pay a little bit higher compared to getting a job in Vancouver and Toronto as well. So I really encourage you to be open-minded and explore some city that is outside of the common area that usually people would go to.
감사합니다. 자, 오늘은 캐나다의 실리콘밸리로 불리는 워털루 지역에 위치한 윌프리드 로리어 대학교에 대해서 이렇게 소개해드리는 시간을 가졌습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.